the other things that they are saying concerning the organization of society are equally interesting. For example, Mussolini, the famous leader of Italy, fascist party, was an advocate of corporativism, which is not corporation as in the modern capitalist corporation, but corporation in the sense of guild. So they advocated a system of guild structures. Now, surprise, surprise, the only people who advocate these ideas in modern literature, in the traditional political literature of the early part of the 20th century in Europe, are anarchists. So there is some strange, odd relationships between anarchism and these ideas. They call it guild socialism. And the way in which this matter was interpreted within the fascist camp was national socialism. The difference between the two is this insistence of national entity, while the focus here is the guild itself, the organization of society through the guilds. Now, if you look at an Islamic society, if you look at AMALAT, you find that because of the type of contractual relationships that is established between the people, the organization of production within Islamic societies throughout the entire history of Islam is based on guilds. So if you go to 18th century Istanbul and you go to the town, you will find that every single productive individual belongs to a guild, that every professional activity is organized within a guild. And these guilds operate in the same manner as a tariqa. There are small zawiyas. There's among the people is established a bond of leadership. The master is a shaykh, and sometimes he was a shaykh of the tariqa. They have their own qasidas. They have their own introductions and ceremonies to belong to the guild. They have their own pension system, way much more evolved than the West is trying to reach today. And through the systems of the waqf that the guild organized. Now, the guild doesn't recognize the idea of worker and employee, because it replaces this relationship of employer-employee by another one, which is superior, which is master-apprentice. So it's an organization of people of the same, recognizing equality among people at an economical level. While the idea of the employee, the class employee, the idea of a class is like a Hindu caste. These people who are today the workers, the employees, have no chance but to become employees for the rest of their life, if they are lucky, because maybe they are not worth exploiting and they become unemployed. So the formula of the elimination of unemployment within Islam is very simple. We eliminate employment. And how do we eliminate employment? By the organization of these guilds. What anarchism did is to extrapolate this idea from starting from people like Kropotkin, and then it took shape in people like Rasul and Cole in Britain. They said, well, the guilds is the dream of the anarchist society. And when I say anarchism, you have to think of how it was understood at the beginning. Anarchism is anti-capitalism, and the differentiation between socialism and anarchism doesn't exist at the very beginning of it. Then what you know as socialism is something to recognize as Marxism. Marx was considered a traitor by Bakunin, one of the main founders of anarchism. Marxism has nothing to do with socialism and nothing to do with anarchism. And in this organization of society that Cole and Rasul define as guild socialism, they saw the guilds representing vertically society. So instead of having a minister of industry, what you have is a minister of shoemakers. So the government is formed by a council of the people who recognize and regularize that thing that they do. So the guilds is the council of government to the Sultan.